our message is going to be coming from Genesis chapter 1, 27 through 28. Literally two verses kind of changed my whole perspective on what I'm here to do. And if you have your Bible, you can set my Bible. You can pull it out, but write it down, read it later. But I am going to read through the scripture. So Genesis 1:27 says, God created human beings in his own image. And 28 says, then God blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it. Literally, so when we say, I don't view myself as this, I don't think I can do that, he's like, well, number one, you didn't create you, so you don't know what you're, literally Genesis 1:27 says, he created us. You didn't create you. I know we want to walk around and say, oh, I built this, I built that, and da-da-da-da-da, and I created this person, I am that. No, he created you, so you don't even know what you're capable of. You just know what you've done. So it's just like, what are you willing to raise your hand and say, you know what, as a person, like as a human, being in flesh, this is how I feel. However, I'm not going to let that have me. This is what I'm going to do. So again, repeat Genesis 1:27 through 28 to yourself when you feel that way. And remember that God created human beings in his own image, not your image, not what you think you can do, but his. So these two scriptures, again, will help you understand what he's called you to do, because these two scriptures aren't just like encouragement pieces that you say, you look in the mirror and say these things 3 times and you go out the door and you feel encouraged for the day. It's literally a call. It is a charge to create. He's telling you exactly what to do with your life. Whatever it is that he's given you, this is what you are called to do. So it is a charge. So are you going to answer the call? Are you going to answer the charge? So again, we're going to break it down to actually understand, like, all right, well, how is he calling? How is this a charge? So, number 1, 27 says he created us in his own image, which means that he didn't create man more or less, and he didn't create women more or less. He didn't create the woman next to you more or less. Like, he created you in his own image, which means no man or woman is superior, no man or woman is inferior. So, and I read that and I was like, okay, I've never read that scripture and thought of it in that way. When he created us in his own image, meaning like he created Dion, he created Dami, he like created us, as you should be. He didn't create you and say, you know what, she's going to be better than Kalia one day, or this person is going to do this better than, him one day. He literally created you with something for you to go out there and do. So when I was reading that, it was just like, you know what? I want to use this as an encouragement piece, as a confidence piece, where I need to pick this up and literally put it in my back pocket every day when I get on social media and I'm scrolling and I'm looking at the person who's in their chapter 30 while I'm in my chapter 10, and I'm comparing myself to them saying, I can't do that. I can't be that. He didn't create you to be her. So you are 100% right. You can't be her. Because he did not call you to be her. He called you to be you. He created you. So while we're out here trying to be different people, do the same things that other people have done, do it the way that other people have done it, you're just holding yourself back. Because he's sitting back like, babe, I didn't tell you to go left. I told you to go that way. You're trying to do what she's doing, but that's what I called her to do. I didn't call you to do that. So when you get on your right foot, you'll start excelling. When you start going in the direction I've called you to go in and just literally live in the person I've created you to be and be proud of that, you'll start excelling and you'll start going in the direction that I need you to go. So please use 27 as encouragement, as that confidence piece saying, God, I don't have to compare myself to anybody. You didn't make anybody better than me, and you didn't make me better than anybody else. Even when you walk past somebody and they have nowhere to sleep, nothing to eat, they sitting on the sidewalk, he still didn't create you better than them. It's just they're at a different chapter in their life. It's just like people are going to be older than you. People are going to be younger than you. But that don't mean you better than them. It is some kids out there who are better people than grown adults. We have 16-year-olds that's millionaires. That don't mean that person is better than any of us. So it's just a matter of looking at, that's their journey. That's their book that they're writing. But what is my book? Even down to everything that we compare ourselves on. Looks, and, jobs and career levels, bank accounts, because everybody's into screenshotting like their PayPal accounts and their bank accounts and showing. Yeah. See, I'm an entrepreneur, so I follow a lot of entrepreneurs and influencers. And one thing that they do, because they're trying to gain followers. So if they're a coach, they want you to see like, I'm making money, so you need to be on my team. So they screenshot to show you and prove to you that, I can show my quote unquote receipts. Well, in Mark, it talks about, how God went out and got taught. So we want to talk about coaches and influencers, because I'm one of them. And God literally, and I'll be transparent. I'm transparent in this space, in every space I can be. I got nominated to give a TEDx at Penn. They reached out to me and asked me, I was like, hey, we would love to sit down and talk to you and stuff like that. We think what you have to talk about is phenomenal. We would love to hear it. Sat down, met with them in person, talked, told them. I got rejected 2 Sundays ago. And literally, the email literally said, hey, your talk is going to be phenomenal. We love your idea, but we got so many high quality speakers. Yes. Initially, I read it and I was bummed as heck. But that next day, I was sitting there and I was reading Mark. And how God literally got taught. He went into the, synagogues. He went into small groups. Wherever he could talk and teach people, he went. And then they talked about how, crowds would gather around him because he's doing these miracles. He's accomplishing these things. And people want them to heal me. They want, do this for me, do that for me. And instead of coming out, he would go to his team and go, we got to go. We got to move on to the next city. Because he wasn't about the titles. He wasn't about the fame. He wasn't about I'm an influencer. He wasn't about, let me go out and say hi to the people. He wasn't about that. He literally was about what he was called to do. Yeah. And literally, I thought about it. I was like, God, I got rejected from that. That's a dream of mine. I would love to be on a TED Talk, I love TED Talks, And literally, God just kept, in his quiet voice, was just like, I need you to understand it's not about the titles. And then I said it too. I was like, if I do this, it'll give me more exposure. It'll give me this. And he literally, it's not about the exposure. It's not about, the followers. It's not about, the name behind the company who's supporting you. It's not about that. It's what I've called you to do. And it was a humbling piece. And I was just like, all right, God. You don't have me there right now. So it's just a matter of, I was like, okay, I get it. I'm an entrepreneur, so I stress about how many times I got to post on social media. What does the content should look like? What is this? What is this? I literally got to a point if I got something to post, I'm going to post it. Because at the end of the day, God has revealed to me over and over, you did not get where you was because you posted something. You did not get to where you were because you posted something. You can't compare yourself and take the same steps as somebody else did to get to where you're going, because their steps is getting them to where they're going to go. So literally, please, guys, when you get down on yourself feeling less than, remember this scripture. But also, be real with yourself. When you get in those moments and you're looking at other people and you're feeling like you're above them, remember this scripture, because you are not. And then when we are able to be humble and really have a heart that way, God will use you bigger than you even think that you can be used. You don't have to have a business for God to use you. He can use you right in your office. He can use you in unemployment. He can use you in any stage of your life and your family. You could be the one that changed the whole trajectory of some people's lives, of some people's mindset. So remember those things, more and less. If you don't remember anything, remember more and less. I'm not more, I'm not less. I am me. As well as for other people out there in the world. He didn't, how can I say this? Our journey is different. Our timing is different. Our growth is definitely different. I'm not better than you because I got my degree before you did. I'm not better than you because I got more money in my account than you. I might got more money in my account today, but after I pay my bills, I might have less money than you, So it's just I am not more or better. All this stuff can be gone in 2 seconds. In 2 seconds. You can go to work on Monday and they can say, we're closing our doors, or we're just firing you without any explanation. You know, so just keeping that mindset has really helped me just in these last like 3 months, like to be completely transparent, to have a mindset of like, God, it's not about what the world is projecting on me, you know, and not to use a Beyonce quote, but in the song Bigger on the Lion King album she put out, she said, you know, this thing is bigger than you and me. It's bigger than what the world projects on us. You know, so the world may project that, you know, what you have to do on social media, what you have to do in your business. You got to do this, you got to do that, you got to get this degree, you have to be this kind of person, you have to dress this kind of way, you got to talk this kind of way. That might be what they're projecting on you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's you got to do that. Other people are going to follow, other people are going to do it. But what is God calling you to do? You know, so literally like that has been like my key thing these last 3 months, and I'm like, I have to share it because we get so stuck on that. Especially as entrepreneurs, anybody who just wants to do something in this world. We feel like we need other people to do it, and you do to an extent, because we can't do life alone. But I don't have to go get that influencer, dropping an email, stalk them 20 times to get them to mention my name on something, so that way these people can see me. God will look at, I got turned down from mentors, like over and over and over again. I'm like, dang, it was like, I just want to have a phone conversation once a quarter for an hour. You don't have 4 hours in the whole year? Like just literally turning me down one after one. And God literally was just sitting down after I'm like dropping in people's inbox. He's like, girl, when your fingers gonna get tired? He was like, let me be your mentor right now. Let me be your mentor right now. Because you're following, you want to go have these people be your mentor. You want to follow them and figure out what they're doing, learn from them. He was like, but you ain't even learned from me yet. You know, let me be your mentor first, learn from me, get grounded in me, and let me put the people in your path that you need. Literally, I kind of did that. I was like, all right, God, whatever. You tell me which way to go. You got Dr. Bronner from Penn. You know, you got Tuesday. I was in a meeting with like the current president of the African American Chamber Conference. And I'm like, okay. So he's just bringing people my way, whether they're a mentor for, you know, longer than 10 minutes or whether they're just somebody who drops me with some piece of information and keep going. You know, so let him be your mentor first before we go seeking anybody else. Because then it'll also help you with your confidence. Ground yourself in him first and let him bring the mentors to you. You don't have to chase a bunch of people. You don't have to spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars going all these places just to get noticed by somebody. Like, let him, like, notice God, and then he'll get you noticed by other people. So literally, chapter 1, verse 27, keep that as a reminder. That's your confidence. That's your thing you pull out your back pocket and read to remind you when you're having that down moment, when you're thinking about that failure, you know, when you're thinking, oh, shoot. Or you get that email like I got. It was like, we're going to pass on you. Take that out and remember, you know, he didn't create me more. He didn't create me less. That opportunity was not for me. He didn't need me there because guess what? I need to say no to that because that could be happening at the same exact time that I got something else for you. Mm-hmm. We got to think about God's plan, not our own desires and wants. Die to yourself every day. Die to yourself and your desires and your wants every day to be aligned with what he wants for you. But don't be so closed-minded that you don't give him the opportunity to work in your life. All right, so that's chapter 1, verse 27. So again, pick your confidence up, know who created you, and walk. And let him like literally walk on this journey with you. Because you got to let him. You know, you got to let him. The cool thing about God is he's not a stalker. He's not going to be dropping in your DMs every day. He's going to reveal something to you, and he is going to let it sit with you. You either going to go to the grave with it, or you going to do something with it. And you work your window. When he gives you something, work your window. Because we have that, like so many people have this whole thing. And I was one of them before I like literally like studied this thing. What God has for me will be for me. Like, so I can get out here, I can do whatever, like mine gonna come. You're not even doing nothing to go get it. Like God is just like, you can't use him like that. So literally, like if he called you to do something, you better have the fire to want to do it. Like even if you don't have that initial fire, have some ability to take a step because you got to work your window. Because if he see that you just out here playing around, He will kindly make sure the next person that is willing to say, I'm available to do this thing for you, he will make sure that he fulfills it. And he will make sure you see it. So it is just like, don't have to be the one on the outside like, dang, yo, you gave me that vision like 10 years ago. And I said every year, 2020 my year, 2021 my year. I'm going to do it this year. Next month, I'm going to do the plan. I'm going to call Kalia next month. Ooh, I'm going to get connected with this person. God, you told me to talk to this person. I got you next month. And he like, man, your window been closed. So it's just like, he's not going to leave you out there dry. He's still going to like take care of you. But he trusts you that when he gives you a vision, that even though it may seem, out of the box for you, even though you may seem like, I can't do this, will you take one step and let him set all the other steps for you? So again, put that in your back pocket. So 2, the second half of that verse is 28, where he literally says, God blessed them and told them to do 2 things. Fill the earth and subdue it. Fill the earth and subdue it. We give ourselves, and I'm a person that does it all the time, we give ourselves like this long laundry list of like to-dos. I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. God asked you to do 2 things. Like he asked you to fill the earth and subdue it. And initially, like growing up, reading this scripture, I'm like, fill the earth. Like, okay, as a woman, God, you want me to have babies. Like that was like me. Y'all felt it too. Somebody thought that fill the earth, multiply. Like, who can multiply? Like, so that is initially like growing up. That's what I thought that meant. And like the more and more I get into like, God, what have you called me to do? And how those 2 scriptures are really like a charge, like a call to create. Fill the earth, with your creation. Fill the earth with the uniqueness that he gave you to do. Like that is a call to create. That is a call to create. Create in your own unique way. So what gift did he give you that's going to fuel that creation process? Did he call you to speak to people, to be a pastor, to be a minister? Did he call you to be a hairdresser? Women sitting in those chairs, even men going to the barbershop, sitting in those chairs, like you get fed a lot. You either gonna get fed gossip or you gonna get fed some power. What are you as a hairdresser? You're not just doing hair. Everything that you do, you're speaking into somebody else's life. Even if you're a seamstress, you're not just sewing stuff to make people look good, make their house look good with curtains. Like, what are you doing? What am I creating? What am I filling this earth with? We are all called to create. And I know some of you may think, because I thought this one time, I am not a creative. I don't do that stuff. I can't draw for anything. I can't make words rhyme. Like, I am not a creative. And I went to Voices in Power, led by Louis Marrero, here in Philly once a month. And I went, and this is an open mic, but he gives the space for people to, pretty much open up, to be a part of something. And it's dynamic. I absolutely love it. And I walk in, he's like, oh, you signing up? I said, what? I said, no, I am not. I said, Louis, I can't make 2 words rhyme. Like, I got cat and hat, like, I'm not good. I can't do metaphors. Like, I can't put this really big message into this rhythmic thing. That ain't me. He's like, well, who said you had to do all that? He was like, just get up there and talk. He was like, just get up there and talk. And he was on the panel at my conference. He was like, just get up there and talk. I was like, all right, man. So I get up there and what I live this message. So I got up there and I just challenged every single person that was there that we are all called to create. And I told him, I said, when he asked me to do this, I was like, no, that's not me. I don't do that. I'm not a creative, And I was like, no. And I got up there and literally like challenged everyone, not just to get up there that day and say something, but when you leave this building, like, what are you going to do to help the people within your community? And I was like, okay. So it's just like we are called to create. And don't take that word create and think of like, I have to be this kind of person. You being dope as an accountant is a way of creating. You're creating wealth for other people. Shamika is a grief coach. She's creating freedom for people. What she's helping people get through. Like, remember what you're creating. So what are you filling this earth with? 2, the second thing he's called you to do is subdue the earth. So when you hear like subdue the earth, think of like overcoming, bringing under control. Like subdue means to bring under control. So if we think of the things going on in this world, I'm sure we can all think about 5, 6 things that is going on that's just like chaotic. You know, literally, what are we called to do with the gifts that we are given to bring some of the issues and struggles within this world under control? So you see how those things connect? Like he's saying, like, fill the earth, go out and create. Whatever I've blessed you with, go out and create. And then once you figure out, like, all right, God, this is the gift you blessed me with, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to go out there and be excellent at it. I'm going to continue to up my education on it. I'm going to make sure that I'm an expert at this thing. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing your people good and going out and serving the people you've called me to. You got that piece together. Then you have subdue it. Now, God, this is the problem in the world that you've called me to solve. He may not have called you to solve that problem for every person in this world, but he could have called you to a particular group of people to solve that problem for. So take the weight off your shoulder of like, oh my God, I got to get out here and I have to go change the entire world by myself. No. He gave you a gift. You asked him what problem he needs you to solve, what you're here to do, how you're here to impact, and that's what you go do. Go ahead.
I think that's really a dope point because a lot of times we don't feel like we're influencers because we don't have millions of people following us.
Mm-hmm.
But you are an influencer with the target audience that God has called you to.
Yes.
So you don't need to lessen your impact, your value, or your influence because your audience may not be as big as the thousands or the millions. And if you really think about it, influencers who have that many followers, you impacting the picture, but how deep does that picture really go into my life? Does it touch the surface, or are you really making changes in my life? And so I want to be the person that helps you make deeper changes, root changes, as opposed to somebody who just makes a top superficial.
And I absolutely thank you so much just for sharing a different perspective on that, because that's exactly it. And I got stuck in that boat of like, I need to follow these influencers. I need to pick up what they're putting down. But it's just like, at the end of the day, I'm like, well, what exactly are they really doing for me but telling me to do these 10 steps that probably won't work for me? Like for real. And I really felt like, all right, like influence, like what the heck does that mean? Influence is not just 50,000 followers. It's not. Influence, like it's people who have not one Instagram or social media account who have more influence than you can ever believe. You know, so again, it's not about, you know, the materialistic stuff, but we really have to understand, like, you know, what is that thing that he's called me to do? What's that problem he's called me to solve? You know, and take some time and really think about that. You know, I did. My problem changed. What I initially thought I was here to do, God was like, nah, not really. Like, literally, like, I am, like, here to bridge that gap between life and business. Because we have, and if we look at today, I mean, shoot, we could just look at politics. You know, everything we see going on in the world. And I'm not big on talking about politics, but from, like, just an overall view, your life matters. Like, if you're going to be a leader of anything, if you are going to be a leader, I don't care if it's a leader of a 10-person Bible study. If you are going to be a leader of anything, you have to take care of yourself. Lauryn Hill said it the best. We can't win when we're not right within. Like, as simple as that. So it's just like, how can I say I'm a leader? I'm going out here, I'm pouring into the lives of people, but like your life is in shambles. You know, you're not taking the time to reflect on yourself. What do I need to fix? I've always wanted to do things like this. But 4 5 years ago, when I was really trying to do it, God was like, everybody want to sit down. Because I was dealing with anxiety, I was dealing with depression, I was dealing with not being confident in myself, having a kid and losing 20 pounds. I didn't feel me, but he literally had to allow me to go through that process because I had to unbecome things that became a part of me just from being in the world. He was like, this is what you let attach to you. I need you to shed that before you get in front of the people I called you to. So you have to make sure you're good in your life. You know, check yourself. I go to a therapist, check myself, like literally, even when I'm good, I say what's up to my therapist. Check yourself, get yourself right. Get yourself right with God. Make sure you're good mentally. Make sure you're confident internally. Your foundation is in God. So that way, when you step out into the world is not throwing stuff at you, and now you're second guessing stuff. You know, they're throwing everything at you. They're projecting images at you, and you're like, oh man, no. You have to be built up so that way when you go out there, they won't tear you down because everybody's not going to agree with you. You're out here trying to solve problems that God called you to solve, and everybody is not going to agree with you. You will have haters. You will have people hanging on your curtail just to get to where you're going. They just want to use you to get somewhere. But we have to be able to build ourselves up and create that foundation and that support. That it's just like, you know what, I'm riding off what God has called me to do. I'm riding off his faith. I'm riding off his strength, his power. I'm reminding myself of that every day. He's called me to do this, so regardless of what you say, I have to do this. And do it with literally like vigilance. Like be vigilant about yourself. I tell people all the time, if you're not vigilant about yourself, the world will be vigilant about telling you who you have to be. Not who you were created to be, but who you have to be according to the world. So whose are you going to take? I tell you right now, God's version feels so much better, y'all. Like, from experience, God's way feels so much better.